Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to be celebrating Halloween by making a pumpkin cake with cream cheese frosting. I did find a Halloween fudge recipe. Well, I didn't find it. Google presented it to me and I was like, ooh, Google, you tricksy me. Trying to tempt me into breaking my promise to not make any more fudge. And I've resisted. I'm not making it. I kind of wanted to, but I'm not. I have to go at least a few months before I can give that a go again. Now, this cake recipe is very simple. I mean, it's not a layered cake, so it's nothing fancy, but I think it's actually my first from-scratch cake that I've made since the gluten, like since being diagnosed. Typically, if I'm making cake since then, I just use like a box mix, which in hindsight, it's one of those things that's like, why buy a box mix? You're pretty much just paying for them to mix flour, baking soda, baking powder, sugar, and salt. Like, it's not that hard. Great if it's like flavored or something like that. Yeah, that makes a little more sense. But yeah, so very simple. Anybody can do it. There are a few risks that I kind of took. There's like 3 points that I was a little unsure of. One being the vessel to cook it in. So I used a glass casserole dish, mostly because the pictures on the recipe had glass in them versus like typically you might use metal. And number 2 is the flour used. The recipe says that their personal, like the site that I'm getting this recipe from, their gluten-free flour mix worked fine, as well as Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1. And I'm using King Arthur, so that's another experiment to see, does that work as well? Because not all gluten-free flours are made equally. Some have different ratios, some have xanthan gum, some don't. And then the final one is, because it has a cream cheese frosting, you should put that in the fridge. You need to keep that cold or else it will go bad. But putting it in the fridge can make the cake go stale quicker. And now, because of science, and definitely not because I'm lazy and life has been busy, I actually made this a week ago. So we're going to see if after a week, is it still not necessarily just as good, but like still a good experience and it hasn't gone completely stale, hard as a brick kind of a situation. And so as always, we need to run through the ingredients, get into cooking, and then we'll do the taste test. Flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, pumpkin pie spice, canola oil, eggs, sugar, pumpkin puree, vanilla extract, cream cheese, butter, powdered sugar, and milk. So the first step is going to be to whisk together all of the dry ingredients, and I'm just going to use the stand mixer bowl that I have because I'm going to make the rest of the batter in my stand mixer. So the dry ingredients are the flour, the salt, the sugar, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, and pumpkin pie spice. I think that's all of them, so just whisk those together until they're kind of like evenly combined. You're good to go. And next we're just going to add the wet ingredients into the bowl that we already have, such as the eggs, the oil, the vanilla extract, and also the pumpkin puree. Just a note from the recipe, do not use pumpkin pie filling, you want pumpkin puree. I've never actually seen pumpkin pie filling, but it does make note of that. So I'm guessing some people have been confused in the past. So just don't let that be you. And then we want to whisk it all together until it's evenly incorporated. Now pour the batter into a greased 9x13 glass pan and then kind of smooth the top with the back of the spatula to make it nice and even. Now pop that in the oven at 350 for 35 minutes and then just do a toothpick test at the end to make sure it comes out clean. And that's how you know the cake is done. And then you're just gonna kind of set it someplace to let it cool. Now to make the cream cheese frosting, we're going to use a hand mixer, a large bowl. First, we're going to mix together the room temperature cream cheese along with some room temperature butter. Make that nice and smooth and creamy, all incorporated together. And then we're going to add in the powdered sugar and the milk, alternating 1 cup powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon of milk, until we run out of a cupful of powdered sugar. Then just add the rest in, add whatever's left of the milk, and then also the vanilla extract, and then finish blending that with the hand mixer until it's smooth and creamy. And now that the cake is cooled and the frosting is done, we're just going to kind of smear that on the top of the cake. Easy as that. Now you're ready to eat. All right, so it's time to give this a taste test. Obviously, I made this a few days ago, so there's not the aroma still in the air, but this is definitely a recipe that is great to make, because when you leave the house and then come back in, you're like, that's a good smell. So, you know, if you need an air freshener, give this recipe a go. But let's see how it tastes. So this is very good. The King Arthur flour worked just fine. The glass pan, I mean, there's pictures on the recipe of the glass, so I was pretty confident that that was the way to go. If you do use metal, you have to reduce the amount of time, because metal is a better heat conductor, so it'll cook the cake faster. I'm not sure how much time reduction, so you are going to need to start doing the toothpick test. I keep an eye on it, and when it starts looking like a cake on top, maybe start testing it, but just use glass pan. That's the easiest solution there. Staleness from being in the fridge for a week, I don't know if it's just because I'm focused on looking for that. I can taste a little bit of it. It's not a lot. For being in there for a week, I assume most people can probably eat a cake within a week. You're probably not like me making it, and I'm the only one eating it right now. You're probably gonna make it 4 people. So this just kind of means, like, instead of making it the like morning of or the night before, you can make it like 2 nights ahead of time. So it just allows your schedule to be a little bit more flexible if you're taking this to like a party or having a party or something like that. But yesterday when I had a slice, I didn't really feel any staleness. So I don't know if maybe I'm just focused more on it today, or if maybe since from yesterday to today, it's gotten a little bit more stale. So I would bet that 7 days is the goal, like eat within 7 days. It probably will be fine up to 10 days, but I would assume that it's probably going to just get stale a lot quicker as time goes on. But yeah, I mean, so overall, huge success, very simple. I think anybody can do it, and I encourage you to give it a go. And if not making this, make something else. Ideally new. You can make an old recipe, or make something, I mean, better yet, the kind of little fun thing that I do every now and then, find an advertisement for something that, I mean, if you're eating gluten-free like me, you probably can't have, and make that. There's probably some, you know, piecemeal recipes online that you can put together to get to whatever that is, or just wing it. All right, on that note, bye, Mom. Still not dead. See you.